Hi, everybody. Just bear with me while I track down our fail safe. Hope everyone's doing okay this week. Message 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I am here to run you through this week's material and answer any questions you may have this week about the material, or in fact anything else about playing ukulele. So, of course, as usual, make sure everything's tuned, because if you're not in tune, you don't know whether you're playing it correctly or not. So, assuming you're all in tune, let's start working through the material. If not, and you're watching it back, I would recommend pausing the video and then obviously tuning it up and coming back to it. So let's jump in at Synth Saga level 3. Now, this week's lesson was bars 3 and 4, but really this ties in with bar 1 and 2 as well. So just a quick one from last week's lesson. We did bars 1 and 2, which is this rhythm. It's 3 groups of 3 notes. So it's so that's 1, 2, 3. And that is then repeated 3 times. So we get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And again, as we were saying last week, it's really good to tap this and bring it into the physical realm in a way that isn't necessarily playing the ukulele first. It's bringing it into a way that you can then bring your mind and your body into one thing and start moving it in the direction of being able to pluck the strings in that rhythm as well. So I always find maybe tapping the ukulele or tapping your foot or even going ba 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 ba. Because the technical side of playing a ukulele is something else. We need to get the rhythm in your head first. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you prefer a consistent rhythm to think about it, you could go 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4. But really, you're going for guess whose ukulele is out of tune? It's me. Okay, just a quick tuning up. So really, you should tie this in with bars. So bar 1 to 4 should all be tied together. So this week's lesson was with the first finger on the E string. Same rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then if you tie it all together, we get this. 1. Now, for the sake of demonstration purposes and obviously my limited time here to answer your questions, I am playing much faster than it is on the record. On the backing track, if you were to play along to that, we've got 75 BPM, which you can see. Let's try and do this backwards, which is more challenging than you may think. Here, 75 BPM. So that means that it's a little bit slower than I'm playing. You're more looking at this kind of tempo. I think I'm still playing it actually too fast there. So really get the rhythm in your head. If you're doing really well with this, why not have a look at bar 5 and 6? So all we would do for that one is use your third finger, bring it up to the 3rd fret on the E string, same rhythm. Sounds a little bit clashy. You may describe it as wobbly, perhaps, because the sound almost seems to clash into each other. So that is bars 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. Back to what we've done today. This week's lesson, bars 3 and 4, is identical to 7 and 8, as you will see on the sheet there. So let me play you through the whole synth saga here, level 3. Bar 3. Bar 5. So if you're getting really good at bars 1 to 4, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to play the whole thing with a little bit more work. So really do give this a go. Has anyone got any questions about Synth Saga before we move on, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3? All questions welcome. Please do ask them in the comments. Also, I can see I've got 2 viewers. It's really nice to see. Please tell me who you are. It's really nice to know who I'm streaming to as well, and who's tuning into the videos, basically. So please do let me know who you are that's out there watching this. So while you're thinking of a question, let's look at Johnny Ukulele, level 3, bars 5 to 7. We want to go to page 9 on the book here. Page 9, here we go. So 5 to 7, we've got a rhythm here that maybe we haven't seen before. We've got short, short, long, long, short, short. So we're going to basically 5 to 7 is this. And then that really long note at the end of the line. And one more time at bar 5 to 8 is this. Oh, spooky. That was incorrect, in case you couldn't tell. Here we go again. Now, listen to your backing track here is going to be a really useful tool. But also, what I'm doing there to count it is tapping my foot. So the hollow one that you can see in this book, which is above the 3, it's the 3rd note across in level 5, in bar 5. That one lasts for 2 notes. It's 2 beats, or 2 taps of the foot, or 2 taps of the ukulele. And you can see that to count that, I add that additional one with my finger on the ukulele, like so. And then that bar 7 is a super long note. We've got to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8 on that bar 7 to 8 there. 8 counts. So one more time, going from bar 5, nice and slowly this time. Six, 7, 8. So the sound slice and the backing tracks here are going to be very useful, because then you can actually hear it in context and play along to the rhythm. So even if the notation is a little bit confusing, using your ears will be a really valuable thing to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through section A for you, which is the first 8 bars. Now this includes last week's and this week's tasks. So here we go, from bar 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 5 coming up. I'm going to do the repeat. Remember the repeat bar from last week. Here we go. Bar 3 coming up. Bar 5. Does anyone have any questions about Johnny Ukulele at all? Any questions at all? Now is the time. we've got no questions, I'm going to move on to the D minor chord. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build it up one string at a time. So let's take our middle finger, and if you've got your ukuleles at home, this is a great time to do it along with me. So you're going to take your middle finger and put it on fret 2 on the G string, like so. Now you're going to want to target the middle of this, because what we're going to do now is take the third finger and put it underneath it, also in the second fret, but on the C string this time. So we've got 2 on the G and 2 on the C. So make sure they're on their fingertips. It's really important. And then we're going to take our first finger and we're going to put it on the first fret on the E string. And no fingers at all on the A string. Now, this is why it's really important to be on your fingertips. Just trying to get a good angle here. So if you're on your fingertips, you can see that nothing is touching the A string on the top of the ukulele, and it will ring true. If you're flat, you can see that my finger there is touching the A string, and I get this, well, it sounds more like a drum than a ukulele, doesn't it? We don't want to sound like a drum. Some of you probably do, but we want the ukulele to sound like a ukulele. So we're going to go for our fingertips here. So when you're making chords like this, it's always really valuable to check each string on its own, just to make sure, as we've just spoken about, that none of the notes are muted out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go G, C, E, A, and again. And again, G, C, E, A, and again. And you hear that none of my notes there are muted out. So let's go through it again. G2, C2, E1, open A, and again. G2, C2, E1, and an open A. So this is a really nice chord to work on here. If you want to move it into a chord sequence, what I've just done there is move my first finger up onto the C string and back down. Really nice way to start putting some chords together using this D minor chord. So this is a really useful chord that's very, very worth knowing. And it sounds lovely, this one. So I'm wondering if anyone has any questions at all about any other music potentially that would be able to be played on the ukulele, anything in the book that you've seen and you go, oh, I don't really understand that. I'll ask Ben in his live stream. Or if you're maybe having trouble tuning it, you know, any questions at all that you've got. I can see I've got 2 people watching. I'd love to know who you are and if you've got any questions. So please do leave me a comment telling me who's watching. Would be great. And also, anything in particular that you would like to have a look at in the book, please do let me know. Now, something that's really cool to have a look at is arpeggios on page 13. So perhaps you could all take a look at this week. You see, I've only got one finger down. It's on the A3. But if I pluck each string on its own, it's called an arpeggio. It's a beautiful way of making a chord that could just be. Sounds cool, but not very exciting. You can make it sound a little bit more interesting. And you can tie it in with strumming it as well. If there's no questions, thanks for watching. And please do keep practicing every day and make sure you do better than I did this week at keeping your ukulele in tune. All right. Good luck, and I'll see you next week. Cheers, everybody.